What is up, everybody? Bootman here, and we're back with another Marvel Snap video. And today, very special video for you. I have an amazing guest. Today, my guest is Trevor, who goes by MobileGamer, all right? So he has a Marvel Snap YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out as soon as you can, all right? He makes a ton of content. He is like streaming a ton. He's making different videos on like how to reach infinite, different decks, different topics within the community. The dude hustles. And yeah, he's a super cool guy. But anyways, we did a collab over on his channel. That's linked down in the description below. Go check it out. We did like a tier list of like the top decks that are currently out and killing it right now. So make sure you go over to his channel, check out that video, all right? But in this video, I wanna have him on and I wanted to chat with him about how he reached infinite, what his thoughts are, what his strategies are, talking about like when to snap, when to retreat, you know what I mean? So we have a ton of great topics in this conversation. So I hope you enjoy it. Again, make sure you go check out the channel if you haven't yet. And if you're new here for some reason, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell, all right? And join our Discord server, link down below. And follow me over on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ. All of that's linked below as well, because I do monthly giveaways for the season pass, but you have to follow me on Twitter, all right? But anyways, without further ado, here's my conversation with Trevor, AKA Mobile Gamer. All right, hello, Trevor. Thanks so much for joining me. How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Yourself?
I am fantastic because we just recorded a video over on your channel that everybody's gonna go check out. But for my 3 or 4 viewers who don't know who you are, what do you do? Where's your channel? What kind of stuff are you covering over there?
Okay, I am playing Marvel Snap, and I have kind of a routine for Marvel Snap, and I try to be competitive until I get to Infinite, and then after I'm in Infinite, I want to play fun decks. I love this game. I love playing bad decks that do goofy things. I like trying other stuff out. But the first part of the season, man, I'm sweaty as all get out. I love math. I love numbers. I love doing things efficiently. I'm a min-maxer. I'm not a mega kraken on this game. Dude, I'm telling people, don't buy this. Buy the $5 Jubilee offer. Save your
Yep.
money. I'm really into min-maxing games. And one of the things that I'm the most proud of is that I have a 94% collection level complete roster,
Mm.
and the people that have a 99% complete collection roster have spent thousands of dollars more than me, and I get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
Wait, hold on. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. What is your strategy behind this? How have you pulled that off?
Okay, once your pool 3 complete,
Uh-huh.
you buy the season pass cards,
Yeah.
and there's not that many pool 5 and pool 4 cards. There's
Uh-huh.
just not. I have half of them. And I've basically been using my tokens and getting those offers that cost tokens. But for someone to go from 94% complete to like 99% complete and have all of the pool 4 and the pool 5 cards is very, 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 very expensive. And if you're smart about your collector tokens and you're picky about your collector
Mm.
tokens, you're going to have a lot of value. And you're first of all, the battle pass, pay to win, whatever you want to call it, that's a card that you don't have to buy in Series 5 later.
Exactly, right?
And so this is the way that I look at the math. Do you want me to talk about this? I
Lay it
think
on me.
I'm
I need
okay.
to hear this.
Okay, so the first of all, everybody's in pool 3 right now, and I don't think people understand what it's going to be like when they're pool 3 complete. Right now, people are in pool 3 and they're really not getting collector tokens. And maybe don't
Yeah.
worry about collector tokens. Those people are, I mean, if you went and you're going to get through pool 3 over a period of time. It takes about 5 months from beginning to end if you're a non-spender, right? And here's the thing, I think the battle pass is a great deal. Spend $10 on it. I mean, I go to a movie. What does a movie cost me? And it's so much more expensive than a movie.
Yeah.
A movie is so much more expensive for 2 hours entertainment. I get a lot more entertainment out of $10 battle pass, and the value is there, right? If you're going to spend $10, Marvel Snap, buy the battle pass. So here's the thing: that's a card that's one card. That's one Series 5 card that I don't have to buy, right? Then, because I'm pool 3 complete, which everybody will be pool 3 complete eventually, like a year from now, everybody's going to be pool 3 complete that started the game at the beginning, right?
Yep.
And there's going to be a handful of Series 4 cards and a handful of Series 5 cards that you don't have. Let's say there's 10 of each, about 10, about 20 total cards. And they're dropping new cards in and they're dropping cards out, right? And so you're thinking, well, how am I going to get these 10 cards, especially if they're stuck there, or these 20 cards if they're stuck there for like 4 months, let's say? Well,
Mhm.
you're going to get one for $10. And then by playing the game normally, you're going to get about 5,000 tokens, which is enough to get a Series 5 card. This is going to put most people at, if they're being reasonable with their offers, buying offers that are good value, the offers that have collector tokens, you're going to be in a situation where you are going to be like 93 to 95
Mhm.
collection complete for a minimal amount of money, a minimal amount of money relative to the people that are trying to be 99% complete. The people that are 99% complete have to spend they have to buy every offer. They
Yeah.
have to buy $100 gold, and they have to refresh all of their missions. They have to buy all of the credits every single day, and they have to buy every offer. And then the people that I'm looking at that were beta players that are 99, a lot of them aren't even completely done. Like a lot of them are missing like one or two cards, right? Or
Yeah.
missing like three cards, and they've literally spent $2,000-3,000,
Yeah.
all
It's
of them.
nuts.
And I have not spent anywhere near that. So I look at my 94% complete roster knowing, and I'm happy with that because I have the cards that I want. I have Shuri, I have Darkhawk, right?
Yeah.
I don't have Null. I don't have Sauron. I don't have Dazzler. I don't have Shanna. And that's fine, I guess. I guess it's kind of annoying, but I also haven't spent $3,000.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're talking about reaching infinite and all that. Let me ask you, since you have your own community on your channel and everything, you're on Twitter. Do you think people put too much emphasis on the cards that they don't have? Because I've noticed that a lot, and I'm like, well, there's so many just variations of decks. There's a whole deck building process if you want to get into that. And I don't know, like you're talking about these X amount of cards that you're missing, which isn't a ton, but there's some good cards that I'm sure you'd like to play. You know what I mean? So where are you at on that?
Okay. I largely agree with the idea that it's about the player and knowing when to retreat and knowing when you're playing against a deck that is going to beat you. Your deck is going to be good against some decks, and certain cards are going to be good against certain decks, and that is fine, right? And sometimes, when you're playing a Sarah Surfer deck, for example, if you get leeched, you're just going to lose. Leech is going to kill your deck.
Yeah.
You just know that that's a loss, right? And you retreat, right? It's not a big deal. Losing is a part. Retreating is not losing. Uh, but that is, what are we trying to do here? Have like a 55% win rate, a
Yeah.
60% win rate? I mean, that's all we're really getting, right? It's not like nobody's, as far as I know, unless you're playing against 100% bots, nobody's got an 80% win rate, right? And
Exactly.
so it's about maximizing cube equity and just knowing when you lost. So what I'm trying to say is largely I feel this is about snapping correctly, knowing when to retreat, when to play, when not to play, all of that, and playing the game correctly, like mathematically correctly, right?
Mhm.
I feel like Shuri and Darkhawk are pay to win. Absolutely. I feel that those cards are busted. And up in like this whole argument about like these cards are ruining my life, I was kind of like dismissing it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And also the battle pass cards. Let's talk about the battle pass cards. Silver Surfer, Zabu.
Very strong.
Oh, I don't know what this game is like if you didn't buy the battle pass.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I suspect that you are playing the game on hard mode without those two cards. So I will agree with the people that are saying I don't have these cards. It sucks. But man, if you're talking about like Sauron or
Yeah.
Null, I don't agree. I
Yeah.
don't agree. I feel like other than those four cards that I mentioned, right? I feel that the game is very balanced. And uh, in the past, because we played the game for a bit now, we both played in soft launch, right? Um, they've nerfed these cards. They've nerfed cards that were a little bit too powerful, right? And so I
Mhm.
mentioned 4 cards, and I'm actually kind of worried because of Zabu and Silver Surfer being the Battle Pass cards that people spent $10 on. Are they reluctant to take a hard look at those cards to see if they are actually in fact balanced?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot lately about because like we were talking about, the value you get. Like Silver Surfer, Zabu, they're gonna be Series 5, which, like the math is like it's like $200 or something for a Series 5 cards if you're like
Correct.
shoving money in, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
so like right now, I'm like, yo, spend the $10. But I'm thinking about if this game grows to where we want to see it, the new players coming in a month from now, 2 months from now, next year, they don't have those cards, right? Those will be, hopefully they'll be downgraded
Well,
later on,
they
but
already they announced Black Panther is getting dropped, right?
yes.
And Ben Brode said Silver Surfer was on the list to be dropped in the following month. Whenever I don't know the 5 week rotations, we don't really know, right? 4 or 5 week, but so the drop's going to happen on the 31st. Black Panther's going from 4 to 5. He said in the next drop, which will be late February, early March, let's say, Silver Surfer will be dropping from 5 to 4.
Yeah. So that's good. So there is hope for the people who didn't pick them up in the season pass. But I did a whole video actually about how to find an extra $10 a month. Like the value is just there. Like do it, save, even though it's like a cliche thing, like don't get your Starbucks or like avocado toast or whatever. Like figure out a way to get the season pass. The cards are amazing. I'm not so sure about Modoc. We'll see if anybody builds insane decks. But yeah, like I think people need to invest in that. So but one of the things is knowing when you're beat, right? And like you were just talking about, the cube system and the win rates. Like I try to tell people, you can lose 7 games in a row at 1 cube apiece. You win one 8 cuber, you're up, right? Because win rate doesn't matter. It's your cubes. Like it doesn't. You don't rank based on your win rate of a deck. So what is your strategy? What tips do you have? Because you've hit infinite, right? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are still struggling. I'm not sure when this video is going up, but they just released that new card back that we're getting for Infinite. So what's your like snap strategy? You've mentioned in the other video,
Yeah.
like trying out new decks, seeing what beats them, all that other kind of stuff. Talk to these people, help them be better snappers.
All right. So my opinion has changed on this a little bit, and I have actually started snapping a little bit more aggressively, and I've also been retreating more aggressively. Like, I think when I've actually tracked this. Like when I was there was a period of time where I was retreating between 15 and 17% of matches, and now I'm retreating closer to 25% of my matches. So that's a lot, right? I'm also now snapping earlier than I was in the past. Snapping on turn 6 feels bad because
Yeah,
oftentimes you know you're going to win and you're going to scare your opponent away. And for me, the optimal time to snap, uh, I think you can make a case for turn 1 snap, but that might be another conversation. Sometimes it makes sense to snap on turn 1, but I'm not a turn 1 snapper. I'm a turn 3 to 5 snapper.
yeah, good. You're in good company.
Yeah. I like to see what the rooms are. I want to see. I kind of want to get a small feel for what my opponent is doing, and I want to see if the rooms favor the deck I'm playing, or a lot of here's the thing that people hate certain locations, which I understand, but it also hurts them too. The other side, I mean,
Yeah,
you're on equal footing if you're playing the same type of deck. But if you're playing a certain type of deck and they're playing a certain type, certain rooms are going to give you a benefit. I also am looking for win conditions. I'm a
mm,
big fan of snapping when I know I can play my Zabu on turn 3. I'm a big fan of snapping when I know I can play my Sarah on turn 5, and so on. There's just situations. I'm a big fan of snapping when I have priority, when I can play Cosmo. I'm
yeah,
a big fan. If turn 1 my opponent plays Hood. Turn 1, my opponent plays Hood. I'm going to play. I'll play Armor 2 turn, and I'll snap right there on the
yeah,
spot. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So, like, if I think I can get ahead on one lane just by placing armor onto that Hood lane, and when I have priority, right? Because they're not going to have priority because Hood is -1 or whatever, right? And then they have negative, so you have priority. I'll snap then. So snapping, just snap better. That doesn't sound like a good way to say it. I feel like this is a function of playing the game a lot. I feel like this is a function of understanding what your opponent is playing. I feel like this is a function of understanding your opponent's deck, and predicting what they're going to do. I mean, these are
Yeah.
12 card decks. You see 75% of the deck every game normally, right? And,
Mhm.
and it's the matches are predictable in a certain sense.
Yeah. So how do you prevent yourself, because I think this is a problem a lot of people struggle with. How do you prevent yourself from staying in the game, like on a turn 6, like, and you know those games where you're like, I should have retreated. Why did I
Yeah.
stay in that? Right? How have you developed that discipline to just say, this one's lost, I'm out, time for the next one, you know?
Oh, maybe I need to learn that better. I got to tell you, I feel like for I mean, this is a problem that probably people have. I feel like I get into Infinite and then I develop poor habits that I was not doing when I was grinding up to Infinite. Like
Yeah,
because like I want to see what they have and I just do it and I don't care.
yeah,
Here's my cubes, yeah, and then it's like, well, if I really go back and on the math, and if you want to do math, that's fine. But I think if you're in a situation where you have more than a 50% chance of winning, you stay in. If you have less than a 50% chance, you dip out. I mean, that seems so dumb to say that, but that's what it is, right?
yeah,
I have a 75% winning in chain. I should stay in. But the discipline, I will say this: when I was grinding up to infinite, there was a 12 match stretch where I was playing super sweaty, other streamers, other YouTubers, like it was names we've all seen. We were all coming across each other every match, right?
yeah,
12 games in a row were conceded, either by them or me.
yeah,
It's a thing. It's a thing.
yeah,
You just like if you're not sure, they concede, I concede. And I don't know if that's fun gameplay, but that is probably the best way to play the game. Is there's a lot. And in the 13th game, it made it to round 6. We saw the results, but 12 games up to that. So I don't know. It's an actual thing.
yeah. No, and that's the thing with battle mode coming out. Like, it's gonna be that kind of boring but like strategic play. You're gonna need to retreat. You're not just gonna stay in just so you can see what the other person had, right? Like, I've had to train myself personally. Just think worst case scenario. Here's what they're gonna play. But yeah, once again, once you hit infinite, I can play around with it a little bit more. Like, hey, are they bluffing? Were they gonna do something stupid? I could stay in. Get rid of some cubes and stuff like that. But
Oh yeah.
But how long would you say, like, and I wish we had better data on this. How long would you say it took you to hit infinite, whether game-wise or whatever, Like, how was that struggle? Because a lot of people,
All right.
we have about a week left in the season. People are like, can I do it? Can I not? My son is about to hit like rank 70 and he's questioning himself. So how much effort and games does it take to get in there?
All right. It is very time consuming, and I think that there was a season I went from 30 to infinite, when I
Mhm.
actually started to care, and that took a lot of time. This season wasn't as much time because I went from 70 to infinite, right?
Yeah.
So if you're at 50 and wanting to get to undernet, please understand that is very time consuming. And it just is. And every 10 levels that you go up, you're getting harder and harder players. It's just the reality. And there was this moment in this last push, and I don't think I'm like the best player. I don't even know. I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
don't think I'm that good of a player. I feel like I'm very average
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. I'm persistent though, right?
Mhm.
And I made it to 99.3 and I dropped down to 89
Mhm.
in like a day. And just because and I was on tilt and I stopped retreating and I was looking for those 8 cube wins and I was getting greedy and it bit me, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then I had to reassess what I was doing and and then I was like, okay, I just need to get a rank a day or a rank every 2 days. And that's good. If I can
Mhm.
go up, if I can go from 91 to 93 today, that's a good day. And then just put it down, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to go up 6 ranks in a day. There are days that I've done that, but that's not the norm for sure.
Yeah, I was actually listening to the KM Best podcast. Him and God, why do I keep forgetting that dude's name? But anyways, he was talking about how once he hits 90, he gets so conservative with his cubes
Yes.
and stuff.
Yes.
And that's something I actually did this season. I was like, listen, there's no rush. I'm gonna get out of here. If I can get 2 cubes here, 2 cubes there, and just like kind of inch my way up, like that helped me out a ton because the season before, same thing happened to me. I dropped from like 98 down to like 85, and it just makes you want to shove your head through a wall. It's so brutal. But let me wrap this thing up with one final question. I'm always curious what people think about this. What do you think is like one of the most underrated cards in the game? People should be playing more, or you wish you could figure out a way to use this card more because you think it's decent and you haven't found a way to use it. What are your thoughts? Have you put much thought into this?
I have, and I think it's a card that needs to be changed, and I think it's a card that should be important in this game, but it doesn't really do what it's supposed to do, and that is Sandman.
Hmm.
It does not do what it's supposed to do currently with cards like Zabu. And so I feel like the game needs a card like for example, Goose kind of does what Goose is supposed to do, right? Like
Yeah.
Goose works, right? But Sandman doesn't. And or not always. It doesn't feel like it works the way it should. And that's a card that I wish did. I mean, because you could build around it, right?
Hmm.
You know, especially if like we're in a situation right now where Zabu and Surfer decks are running wild,
Yeah.
and my opinion is that in theory, Sandman is supposed to be a solution to that problem, and it's not. Does
What
that make
what have,
sense? What I'm
what have you
saying?
been running into? I'm curious. Like when you're playing, I'm like, what do you wish Sandman did?
Okay, so my problem with Sandman is that it's a tremendous loss of tempo.
Yeah.
It's you only get one power on turn four, and you know when you look at a lot of good four cost cards, usually have six power at a minimum, like White Queen or Rock Slide, let's say, and then there's other situational cards that go up to 10, right?
Yeah.
A one cost card, wow, it has to be changing. You know, a one power card at four cost needs to be impactful.
Yeah.
And and what I'm finding is that Zabu played on turn three is going to play two cards and the value is already there, and they usually can, and then you've lost the tempo, you know, because
Yeah.
they're going to play Darkhawk Rockside, let's say, or whatever, right? And it's like, well, did that really stop anything?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, spot on, Sandman. I really think they need to make that card like a 4/3 or 4/4, something to balance it out a little bit. It's almost like when they created the card, they thought it was going to be too powerful or something. Like I don't know what they were thinking, but they need to bump up the power on that thing. It's screwing up the tempo of both people. You know what I mean? And especially with a card like Zabu coming out when you need to play it. With how powerful Zabu and Surfer are, I've been messing
Right.
around with this one deck that can either go a Zabu route or a Sandman route, right? Like, so if you're playing against a Zabu deck, you drop Sandman, and then you have like, I think like a Magneto and something else a little bit more powerful. But yeah, I wish that card
I'm
was a little bit better.
and I'm okay with there being counters to decks
Yeah.
because I mean I'll play a Patriot deck knowing that Killmonger exists. You just have to you just have to play that deck and pretend that Killmonger doesn't exist. It's fine. The deck wins, right? And I feel like Zabu should be played that way also, right? Like I'm going to play Zabu knowing this XYZ card destroys me 90% of the time. That card doesn't exist. Not
Yeah.
really. Do you know what I'm saying? And it in theory it should be Sandman, but it's not.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully they figure out a way to put him in the next round of buffs or soon. But yeah, Trevor, thanks for coming over. We just recorded a video on your channel, but for everybody out there, where is the best place to find you and all of your beautiful shenanigans?
All right, so this is going to be confusing. I have two YouTube channels. You know, one that has about 120,000 subs. That's the one that is for Marvel Snap, and then I have one with about 70,000 subs, and that is the one for Marvel Strike Force. So I guess you'll have the link in your description or something like that. But there, keep in mind if you Google Mobile Gamer, you're going to find two different channels. You might find the other channel because that I've been doing Strike Force content there for a minute now. That's a little bit more popular on the search results.
Beautiful. Well, yeah, I'll link it down below so nobody's confused. And yeah, everybody's gonna head over to your channel, see the awesome collab we did over there, and we'll probably do this again in the future. Thank you, Trevor.
Woo!
All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Trevor. Yeah, we posted his video like last week, but I'm out of town this week, so I'm like, yo, man, I'm gonna delay it a little bit because I need some content, all right? So yeah, he's a super cool dude. Make sure you go check out his channel. Our collab on his channel is linked down in the description below. Head over there, give it a subscribe, like his videos, help boost his channel, even though he doesn't need it. I think he's bigger than me. So yeah, but anyways, huge thanks to Trevor for taking out the time to sit down and chat. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ, link down below if you want to be part of our monthly giveaways. You gotta follow me on Twitter if you want to be part of the giveaways. All right? But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.